So what if I told you there is a concrete, scientifically backed way to add exactly 2.5 years to your life? I mean it. No magic pills, no extreme biohacking, just a highly specific, data-driven daily investment. If you're serious about performance, you probably optimize your time, your finances, your career, but are you optimizing the absolute foundation of your potential? Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to completely reframe how we look at health today. We're going to treat your youth and your biological function as a highly valuable business asset. And hey, just like any top-tier asset, it requires active, strategic investment and rigorous protection. The science of anti-aging has evolved incredibly fast lately, and we now have clear data showing us exactly what accelerates aging, and way more importantly, what stops it dead in its tracks.
Okay, let's dive into this and build your longevity portfolio. First, the anti-aging investment. Second, top 3 longevity foods. Third, master your circadian rhythm. And finally, preventing permanent DNA damage.
All right, Section 1, the anti-aging investment, why your 20s and 30s are the absolutely critical investment window. We really need to shatter a massive myth right out of the gate here. The idea that anti-aging is something you only need to worry about when you hit 50 and start feeling a bit rusty? Absolutely not. It all comes down to biological age, which is the cellular age of your body's systems. And here's an absolutely fascinating takeaway from the research. How you look on the outside is a direct, highly correlated indicator of how you're aging on the inside. Basically, if someone looks prematurely aged outwardly, their internal organs and cellular health are likely mirroring that exact same decline. What we commonly just brush off as lifestyle diseases are, in reality, just diseases of aging. By slowing down biological aging, you simultaneously crash your risk of developing these diseases. And this brilliantly illustrates why the traditional approach, waiting until middle age to start caring, is so flawed. The scientific reality demands that we start in our 20s and 30s. Every single day you're young, your youth is an asset yielding returns. Waiting until your body is actively breaking down to start investing in it, that is a massive missed opportunity for compounding health returns. Today is literally the youngest you will ever be, making today the absolute best day to begin.
This brings us to a fantastic insight from Kunihiro Nishizawa, a leading health and medical editor. He states, "Youth is an asset. The earlier you start investing in health literacy, the greater your returns." Think about that light bulb moment for a second. Top-tier professionals globally are no longer viewing health as just, feeling okay. They view health literacy, ingredient lists, and daily habits as a high-stakes investment portfolio.
Moving on to Section 2, top 3 longevity foods. Let's actually build that longevity portfolio.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the hard numbers. To figure out what yields the highest returns, we look at massive global data sets, specifically analyzing research like the WHO's Global Burden of Disease Study, which tracks diets and lifespans worldwide. If you start integrating these into your diet at age 20, the returns are absolutely staggering. Bar 1. Beans. This is the ultimate powerhouse. Men who consume beans regularly add a full 2.5 years to their life. Women add 2.2 years. Bar 2. Whole grains, like brown rice or granola. That adds 2.3 years for men and 2.0 for women. And bar 3, nuts, adding 2.0 years for men and 1.7 for women. These aren't just rough estimates, guys. This is the statistical power of what we literally put on our plates every day.
But just like financial investing, you need portfolio diversification. While diets in places like Japan are already pretty rich in soy and adzuki, eating only one type of bean limits your returns. You've got to diversify your bean intake. You also need to incorporate whole grains daily. And for nuts, you don't need to eat a massive mountain of almonds. Just one handful a day is enough to significantly reduce disease risk. Seriously, you don't have to overeat them. Consistency is the true currency here.
Of course, we also have to eliminate the bad investments. High sugar intake and high cellular inflammation in your 20s don't just affect your waistline, they actively degrade your brain and your eyes. Research shows that high inflammation early in life directly leads to memory and cognitive decline later. And amazingly, excessive sugar is now actually linked to myopia or nearsightedness. No way, right? Bad diets can literally blind you to your own future.
All right, Section 3, master your circadian rhythm. Let's talk about structuring your biological clock.
If diet is the capital you're investing, your circadian rhythm is the management system ensuring those assets operate efficiently. You simply cannot optimize your performance if your internal clock doesn't even know what time it is. So here's the exact biological mechanism for your daily reset. Step 1. Morning sun exposure. The second sunlight hits your eyes, it triggers step 2. Melatonin, that's the sleep hormone, immediately halts production. This paves the way for step 3. Serotonin levels powerfully increase, activating your brain and body for the day. If you don't anchor this rhythm daily, your body just enters a state of chronic stress.
And that stress physically manifests on your body. If you get short sleep and then expose yourself to strong summer sun, your body mounts a hyperreactive, inflammatory response. We're talking rapid skin aging, severe wrinkles, and sunspots. But if you get sufficient sleep before that exact same sun exposure, your skin actually has a regulated, healthy response. Remember what we said earlier, outward aging equals inward aging. A lack of sleep literally makes you hypersensitive to damage.
Now, we need to be careful here. Don't become a complete vampire, okay? While protecting your skin from excessive UV rays is smart, completely shutting out the sun is dangerous. Sun exposure is required to produce vitamin D, which is actually a vital steroid hormone essential for your entire body's health. The optimal strategy: expose at least the palms of your hands to the sun daily. That safely generates the vitamin D you need to thrive without overexposing your skin. Finally, Section 4. Preventing permanent DNA damage. The hard truth about pulling all-nighters. In business and study culture, hustling through exhaustion is so often worn as a badge of honor. But science tells a very, very dark story about sleep deprivation. So the crucial point is this. According to cutting-edge research, there is an absolute maximum biological limit the human body can tolerate reckless living, and that limit is 2 weeks.
Listen to this carefully. Based on research by Dr. Hayano at Keio University, reckless living beyond 2 weeks causes unerasable DNA damage. Let that sink in for a second. Unerasable. Actually, you know the idea that you can sleep 4 hours a night for a month and then just catch up on sleep over the weekend? It's a complete biological myth. If you push a broken circadian rhythm and poor habits past that 2-week threshold, you literally scar your DNA forever.
Let's move to the next slide and see how this builds a terrifying contrast between perceived hustle and actual cost. On one side, we have the short-term hustle, binge eating, irregular sleep schedules, chronic jet lag. It kind of feels like you're getting more done, right? But on the other side, the long-term cost, permanent DNA scars, accelerated biological aging, and severe hormone disruption. You are trading permanent cellular degradation for temporary productivity. It is quite literally the worst investment you can possibly make.
So, let's consolidate this whole shebang into your ultimate asset protection plan. First, recognize that the investment window is right now, in your 20s and 30s. Second, fundamentally change your daily fuel. Diversify with beans, whole grains, and a handful of nuts every single day to statistically extend your lifespan. Third, forcefully anchor your biological clock by getting morning sunlight to halt melatonin and boost serotonin. And finally, draw a hard line in the sand. Never, ever push reckless habits like sleep deprivation beyond a 2-week threshold.
I want to leave you with this to consider. The data is clear. Your daily choices are either adding years to your life or they're permanently scarring your DNA. So are you treating your youth like an endless resource to be carelessly spent, or are you actively investing in your longevity portfolio today? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start making those high-yield investments immediately.